positively wrapped in the spirit of the season. Christmas could very well be a wonderful fun time for families depending on where and how they choose to spend it. Well, I will be sharing in the Christmas experiences of two families at least on this episode, just so we get a sense of how things are within some households this Christmas season. Elizabeth?
Compliments of the season, but we're still talking Christmas as well. I will be looking at the spiritual meaning of Christmas, how we can leverage as Christians for our spiritual upliftment and nation building.
It's Christmas, people. Let's begin. I'm fascinated with the discourse on national monuments and assets and how much is being done to preserve and
look into the language issue. We have turned English to become like a pride value in our own cultural values.
It's not cash transfer. It's not a COVID-19.
Invasion 1897 was a deliberate
many of these people coming to the urban areas now.
And applications, there are terms and conditions that
of course it is the union of two people, a man and a woman coming together.
My name is Nnamdi Odipo.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori.
Now let's kickstart this special Christmas family edition with our first set of guests. The Egbe is based in Calabar, Cross River State. Do we have them there? Right, that's it. We have them there. So by way of introduction, the Egbes comprise the dad, Enyi, the mom, Ntomo. Razep is the daughter. She's sitting behind the dad there, if you can see her. And then, of course, we have the two boys. There's Enyi Junior. And then, of course, there's Lizubi. Guys, it's good to see you all. And Merry Christmas from us here at the NTA to you.
Merry Christmas!
You so much for joining us on the program. Nice. Good to see you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Fantastic. So I wonder how the Christmas celebration is going thus far. I mean, knowing family dynamics would definitely be at play. And I'm sure that each person there in the house may have their own different plans, of course. But I need you to tell me something, Enyi. And I mean Enyi Daddy now, not Enyi Junior. What does Christmas look like in your family, and how is the mood generally in the house this Christmas?
Thank you very much. Christmas is the celebration of Jesus Christ, and the period where we look forward to having all of us. We do a lot of catch-ups. We do a lot of merriment, and it's joyous to us. And looking at the economic situation in Nigeria, one actually needs to be very, very happy to coexist in Nigeria. Thank you.
Well, fantastic. Ntomo, I know, I mean, this is a season where you're usually very busy. I mean, it's a busy time for women, mothers, and even more so business women. Can you give us a sense of how this has impacted you as the mommy of the house and a worker slash businesswoman as well?
Okay, thank you. This season is a very hectic season, but it's also a joyous season because right from the 1st of December till the end of December, there are activities lined up here. And we also part of it because we do a lot of cooking, and we entertain people with our local cuisines and all that. And our families come together this period to share love and to also enjoy ourselves in our own different ways. Thank you.
I would like to jump over to Razep at the back there. I know she's sitting behind the dad. And I have been to Calabar a number of times, so I have a sense of the general ambience of town. I mean, the streets, lights and all of that, and Christmas village, and the carnival floats, and, and carnival parades about town, and all of that. I mean, would you tell me, of course, there are also parties there too. How engaging are all of these experiences for the family? And, how does it impact the celebration per se? Razep, is that something you'd like to respond to?
Okay. Generally, one of the most anticipated holidays in Nigeria is Christmas. And in Cross River State, the activities such as Carnival, the Christmas village, the decorations on the streets are also very engaging because the government is able to give back to the people in Cross River State through this little decoration and the gesture. And this has helped impact the people here in Cross River State to engage and look forward to all these activities daily.
But what's the most exciting thing about the carnival that you look forward to, Razep?
Okay, every year Carnival comes up with its theme. These different things are like very engaging because people like learn more from this thing, and this thing bring people to know, okay, there are things like this in the country, there are things like this in the world.
I'm battling to hear you. I'm battling to hear your audio from the back there. It seems to be low, but let me just cross over to Liz Ubi, who is sitting right in front there. Liz Ubi, what's the most exciting thing about the parties and carnival in Calabar during Christmas? For you, what's most exciting and most fascinating for you?
The most exciting things about the carnival is the visitation of family members and also the costumes that people actually wear.
Is that the most exciting thing for you?
Yes.
And you, boy, how about you as well?
Into the costumes, everything, the dance, everything they do in the carnival. The dance, everything, the costumes, the food, the parties, everything. The families that people come from different places around the world to see carnival is very exciting.
Okay, guys, I'm not getting the vibe from you guys because the carnival is one. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a time that people jump around, and I know the number of times that I've come to Calabar for the carnival. And I need to hear the excitement. Perhaps I should just come to Ntomo and ask about, the excitement during the carnival and how exciting it is for the entire family as well. I know, of course, that it's a busy time, but then in terms of excitement, how exciting is it for the entire family?
The activities are what we look forward to. The activities are what we just say, okay, today this is what is going to happen, and even while you're sleeping, you'll be thinking of the next activity that is going to happen in the carnival. And then on the 28th of December, that's when the carnival proper will take off.
True. Very true.
Well, to add to that.
Yes, please go ahead.
To add to that, Cross River State Christmas Festival is actually a 31-day packed event.
Yes.
Which kicked off on the. In fact, it's even 32 days. It kicked off on the 30th of November with the lighting of the Christmas tree and then with the city walk. And every single day is packed with events, exciting events, artists performing, cultural displays, and all of that. And for families coming to Calabar to witness it's packed for them. You get, and the environment, the ambience is perfect for families, and I want to give this to the governor and for what he has done, because for some time now, Christmas in Calabar was almost like dead. But right now, it's all alive.
Everyone is feeling the flow.
It's all alive. The lights are on. You feel the vibes, the music is there, the shows are coming up. In fact, we're even going out very soon. As soon as this interview ends, we're going out for
a normal outing.
A normal Christmas family outing at the Christmas village. Yeah. And the village is fun.
I see Liz will be smiling. I see Liz will be smiling.
If you're not there, I don't know you're just missing so much.
Yes, I see Liz will be smiling there. He's already looking forward to the outing already. But let's quickly talk about some, old family Christmas traditions that you and the kids often look forward to, perhaps new ones. Do you mind talking about some of these old family Christmas traditions that you have and how exciting some of these traditions have been over the years, you know, for the family.
Okay, for this family, we have our days of visitations. That's what we do. We have the dates that maybe this other family will host, and we have our own dates that we host our family.
The entire family.
The entire family. We come together.
The extended family.
The extended family, they come to the house. Everybody, you come with your own, anything you can cook, any food, like we'll prepare our local delicacies here, pampupo, edikaikom, afeferebo, afeferumen, and all that, fisherman soup. We'll do a display on the table, and we feed to our own satisfaction and make a lot of merry.
I'm already salivating from the fisherman soup. You know, the mention of that fisherman soup got me thinking maybe I should get a ticket and cross over to Calabar to come and eat. But then, I mean, when you gather, I mean, of course, you're talking about the extended family now during this Christmas. I mean, how much so do you enjoy each other's company during these gatherings? And why is it that important to you as a family to meet this period and perhaps, you know, socialize and rub minds together?
Well, you know, we have family members who live outside of where the core family is. And this period is when every member from all walks of life coming to share moments, share experience with other family members. It's quite interesting, and also opportunities are made at this time too. So we always look forward to this day, this period.
Fantastic.
We look forward to visitations. We look forward to moments of discussion, especially the men will gather and share experiences. And then the women will, you know what the women do. Again, I'm not going to say that now. And it's quite interesting. Being 26, we're going to visit our grandma. All her grandchildren are going to be there. And you can imagine it, visiting grandma, and all grandma's children and great-grandchildren are going to be there too.
Yes.
And you can imagine the fun, the noise, the music, the love. Oh, you can mention all of it, and there's no way you will have that moment and still feel sad. You will even forget what is happening in Nigeria right now, the economic situation. Christmas in Calabar is wonderful. Christmas in Calabar, if you're not here, you're missing so much. Christmas in Calabar is great.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. There's something else I would like to ask you, and this applies to both Enyi and Ntomo, really, and I would like to get your response. You know, I would like to ask about the pressure of Christmas. You've talked about this fun side. Let's talk about the other side that isn't so much fun, like the endless cooking that Ntomo has to do this period, perhaps the waste and wastages that will happen this period, the money that he has to cough out of his pockets this period, and, you know, the reminder of those we probably spent last Christmas with, and they are no longer and no more here. How do you cope with all of these emotions this period? Let's begin with Ntomo, and then we'll cross over to Enyi.
Okay. For the spending, we still have to spend. And you must only bring out the money for us to spend. Because Christmas is a period where we all celebrate. And during this period of celebration, we need to spend a lot of money. And then most of our family members that were here with us last year might not be here this year because of how the situation of the country is right now. But in the other hand, no matter how you try to escape from the spending, you still spend. But at the same time, we still try to manage so that the wastage wouldn't be that much. And we still keep ourselves in order and check so that we'll be able to manage whatever resources we have and then entertain as much as we can entertain. And a lot of cooking will be going on. Right now, I had to leave the kitchen because my pot is there. I had to rush here. And then after that, we'll definitely bounce on that food. This is the season to eat. This is the season to enjoy. Come to Calabar, there's plenty of food in Calabar. And trust these hands can really do magic. Thank you.
Nice. Hey, how are you coping with all the spending? They said you must cough out the money.
I'm still smiling and laughing because I know what will happen after the spending and the celebration. Well, in whatever we do, we try to accommodate the expenditure that will come up in the month of December. For me, I call December the 13th month. It's 12 and 13 because by the time you get to January, it's a different thing, but it all has to do with planning. You have to learn how to budget what you need to budget for certain period.
True.
For this period has been budgeted for, and we cannot exceed that budget. We have to stay within that budget. And well, maybe by next year we'll reduce the budget a little bit because I know how we got here, and it all has to do with planning. I don't like talking about the expenditure of December, but it all has to do with planning.
Fantastic. Of course, it has to do with planning. And then we have to spend, but then we have to be moderate in our spending as well, so that we don't start running helter-skelter in January. I mean, in the new year. I think we've left the kids hanging for a bit. I'd like to ask Razep behind. Razep, what's your most exciting fun Christmas memory? Your fun Christmas memory so far, and are you hoping to have and create new memories this year?
Okay, the most fun experience I've had doing like carnival is joining carnival band. Last year I joined the Kit FM band.
Oh, okay.
And this year I'm looking forward to joining the Kit FM band again. And this year, hopefully, it's going to be better than last year.
Fantastic. Hey boy, how about you?
Yes, me too. I would love to join the FM band. Last year I wasn't there because I wasn't good. But this year I'm going to be part of the FM band. We'll go to the carnival together and we'll have fun.
Fantastic. Lizubi, perhaps, would you let us into you've been chuckling since while others have been speaking. Tell us about your fun, your most exciting and fun-filled Christmas memory. Perhaps you want to create a new one.
The most exciting Christmas memory is actually from the carnival as well.
Okay. Tell us about it.
Lizubi is a brief. He doesn't like giving long.
Don't mind it. So I want him to tell us about it. We need Nigerians to hear Lizubi's fun Christmas memory. Okay, great. So Lizubi doesn't want to talk about his fun memories. Perhaps he wants to create new ones. Finally, guys, before I let you go, it's time for us for you now to send out your Christmas wishes to your loved ones, perhaps friends and families. Let me begin with Enyi. Enyi, would you kickstart the process? Yes. Enyi, daddy, now, not Enyi boy.
Christmas. Oh, Enyi boy. Okay, that's for you.
No. Okay, let's start with Enyi boy then.
Please, the Christmas message.
Enyi boy, your Christmas wishes, perhaps to your friends and families, or extended family, to grandma. What do you want to say hello to this Christmas period? And send your best wishes too.
That they should enjoy themselves during this Christmas and they should stay healthy too. Okay,
Razep?
I want to give a shout out to everyone and they should enjoy this Christmas and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Fantastic. Lizubi?
I would also like to give a shout out to my family members that are not in the country currently, but I would like to celebrate next year with them or possibly this year.
Fantastic. This is the most I've gotten Lizubi to talk. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll go to Ntomo.
Okay, shout out to all our family members, those in Calabar, outside Calabar, within the country and outside the country. We wish them a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. Cheers to all of them. And now, I wish you a Merry Christmas as well and a Happy New Year in advance.
Thank you so much. And
Well,
finally, the big man in the house, the money spender.
Merry Christmas to my friends, my family, my mother-in-law. I lost my mom last year. Merry Christmas to my brothers, my sisters, my in-laws. Merry Christmas to my associates. Merry Christmas to everybody out there that has a cause to live. Merry Christmas to you. Please remember to stay healthy. Eat healthy. Exercise. This life is for the two of us to live and to go forward. Thank you.
Ntomo, Razeb, Junior, and Lizubi, I'd like to thank you all so much for sharing your Christmas with us here on the NTA. This is wishing the Egbes the very best of the season and God's blessings into the new year. Thank you so much, guys. And it's fun and good seeing you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Well, we're still celebrating or sharing Christmas experiences with Nigerian families, but this time I'm crossing over to Abu Dhabi to join a Nigerian family based in that, or rather based in the United Arab Emirates. They are the Shaperas. Guys, if we have them there, oh, great, we do have them on the screen. So glad to have you on the program this Christmas, and thank you so much for joining me. But I wonder if Mrs. Shapera would do us the honors of introducing everybody there by name. I mean, if you don't mind, real quick.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Alu Shapera. This is my husband, Teve Shapera, Swemte, my daughter, and Te Ivim, my son.
Nice to meet you all, and a wonderful Christmas to you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I suspect, and well, I do know it's winter already in Abu Dhabi there, and I do suspect it comes with lots of rains, and I don't know how harsh the weather can be and all that. But I hope the weather is and in no way dampening the Christmas spirit there for the family. And how is Christmas in an Arab nation specifically, somewhere, I mean, there in Abu Dhabi for Christians like yourself? I'll start with that. With, and if you don't mind, Teve, okay, let's start with you, and then we'll cross over to Alu.
All right, thank you very much for hosting us. All right, my name is Teve, as you were told by my wife. Christmas here, despite being an Arab nation, you could see that when you go to the malls, when you drive past the road, you see a lot of decorations in Christmas colors. That tells you how tolerant the nation is, because being even a Muslim nations, we have other nationalities here too that belong to the Christian faith. So when it comes to Christmas, things like New Year, things like Easter, we celebrate it here as if we're in our home country, Nigeria. And Christmas is not an exception. Like if you go around now in the shopping malls, you could see so much of the decorations, huge Christmas trees placed in front of all the shopping malls, even some schools decorating in Christmas colors. So the difference is just being away from home, but the celebration is still ongoing, and we are part of it with the Nigerian community here. So that is all I can say. It's like being home. The only difference is we are not seeing our cousins, our aunties,
we'll actually talk about being home and being there in Abu Dhabi shortly. But just before we go over to that, let me cross over to Alu. and ask about the weather. I mean, I've been to Dubai a couple of times. I know, well, how the weather can be harsh there sometimes. But I know you're already in winter there in Abu Dhabi. I asked earlier if that dampens the Christmas, experience and spirits. Does that in any way affect how the family is feeling, the weather?
No, not at all. Luckily for us, this winter is very friendly. The temperatures have gone down remarkably, so it's allowing lots of families spend time outside. It's not as harsh as it usually is in May, June, and July. So the temperature is just about right. And as is the culture here, lots of families, because the weather is good, they're going outdoors to the desert to do lots of barbecuing and grilling. So the weather isn't getting away. In fact, they just finished a winter festival that was done outdoors, Winterfest. It was really lovely.
Susu and Ivim, let me just come to you guys. Maybe I should start with Susu. She's older. So, Susu, just tell me, I mean, how has Christmas been generally? I mean, this is a country you've spent some time in. Tell me how much fun it can be, or Christmas can be, for a young teenage, well, for a young girl at least.
Christmas is usually very fun because you get to like go to different hotels, different water parks. So I wouldn't say Christmas is like a problem in Abu Dhabi. It's very nice.
Wonderful. And earlier, Tevi, you talked about Christmas back home in Nigeria. And I mean, let's talk about that now and do a quick comparative analysis of Christmas in Abu Dhabi and Christmas in Nigeria. I do not know the last time your family spent Christmas here in Nigeria, but which would you prefer, anytime, any day, without bating an eyelid, and why?
I would prefer Christmas in Nigeria. Because I remember the last time we spent Christmas together in Nigeria with extended families. That was in 2019. And immediately we came back, there was COVID. And since then, we have not traveled back to spend the festivals with them over there in Nigeria. And I remember before the Christmas of 2019, I hadn't traveled there for like over 7 years. So it was fun having the whole families, you know, my wife's family, my family, our extended families being together, seeing each other, eating the jollof rice Christmas together.
The Niger jollof.
Yeah, exactly. So it was fun. You cannot compare with here, because here you may spend it with just 1 or 2 families that are closer to you, and that is it. And then we also go out to maybe the beach, we go out to the water world, we go out to the aquarium, you know. But there you are with the family. Even when you don't go out, people are visiting and guys are exchanging pleasantries. So you cannot compare. Christmas home, far, far better.
You know, there's nowhere like home, actually. You know, that, as the saying goes. You know what? Let me quickly talk to Ivim. And by the way, I should quickly say that I am so enjoying that braids on Ivim. I wish I could grow one like that, but unfortunately, I'm already going bad. So I will just keep envying him and say it does look really, really cool. By the way, Ivim, do you remember the last time you were in Nigeria in 2020 for Christmas? And what was the most exciting memory you still have of that Christmas in Nigeria? And would you like to come back home to come spend Christmas sometime real soon?
I would like to spend Christmas there again because we got to get together.
Okay.
And we also had dogs there. And we also got to eat jollof rice and very other stuff out. We had a great time. We also got a lot of suya, and it was very
good. Suya. Nice. So yes, please go on, Ivim.
But after that, I had to leave the dogs there.
Ooh, and that is really sad. You have to leave the dogs back in Nigeria. But not to worry. I think Daddy and Mommy will walk around that and see if they can get you another pet sometime real soon. I mean, and Alu, the kids are missing jollof rice. I'm pretty sure Susu is also missing jollof rice. Is it that you don't make enough of jollof rice there in Abu Dhabi? Is it very difficult
make jollof rice, but there's something about the jollof rice from home with the firewood that hits different. Here I make jollof rice, but I do it on the gas cooker. There grandma makes it and makes it with firewood, and you get that smoky taste. So there's just something about the jollof that grandma cooks and the one I cook. I think this is why everybody's being so nostalgic.
And I bet that's not the only thing you are also missing from spending Christmas in Nigeria, or is that the only thing you're missing?
No, definitely. Like my husband said, we are very, very family oriented. We have a big family, so that is what I also miss: family, friends, getting together. The thing with what you see around here during winter is lots of people travel. Many people will want to experience white Christmases per se, or will want to go back home. You have lots of expats here, so you see many people traveling. So even your friends may not be around during the Christmas. So that's why we keep saying we're missing people. A lot of families travel out of Abu Dhabi during the Christmas.
Wonder perhaps if you have more family fun plans on the way heading into the new year, if you would just talk around that.
For the new year, actually, our plan is to travel to the other Emirates.
Okay.
Usually, the tradition we do is we spend the Christmas in Abu Dhabi, and then for the new year, we spend to any of the Emirates, sometimes Ras Al Khaimah, sometimes Dubai. So, as it's already the tradition, on the eve, we will be driving down to Ras Al Khaimah to spend the new year there. To see the fireworks. Here, the tradition is on the eve, there is no space to park your car. Everybody flocks out to go near the nearest fireworks. So we have the fireworks in Dubai, which is almost like creating Guinness records each year, being the longest. I think the last year we it took like 45 minutes fireworks just at a go. Once it starts, it takes almost more than an hour, or sometimes close to an hour. So we'll be going on the eve to watch it. So that has been the tradition here. So we have to follow in the tradition since we are not back home there.
Well, the New Year is a couple. The New Year Eve is a couple of days away. So I mean, I'm sure the kids are also excited and looking forward to the trip. You know what? Let me become a bit serious, and I know this has been fun, but and I know you hear from your loved ones back in Nigeria, and of course you're deeply interested in happenings back home in Nigeria. And you get stories, and you get a lot of calls, and people say, Alu, people say, Tevi, please, I don't have these, things are tough, family is having a hard time, and this and that, and all of that. I mean, when you reflect some of the happenings back home, and then you think about all of these within the context of Christmas, how does it make you feel, and what's your take, basically, on some of the things happening back home, and how you think it might affect or impact the Christmas spirit, especially for persons and families who may not have enough to eat this period, enough to share? Do you have perhaps anything to say at all? Alu will now come to TV. Yes, Alu, let's take Alu, yes.
Okay, so when I hear the news back home and how the standard of living is high, and how everything is really tough. You know, you have friends, family, we are constantly in touch. The first thing that strikes my heart is for me to be grateful, and we're grateful to God for where we are right now and what we have. And as every time we constantly remind ourselves to never stop giving, because this is the way that this is the season for giving, it's the season for love, for sharing. Even when you're back home, you see how you cook food and you share it with different people. So it's the same thing for us. It always reminds us that as we're thanking God for what where we are and what we have, we should also reach out and touch people during this season, because yes, there are some people that a little token will go a long way for them to have food on the table, to have rice, to be able to celebrate, to just even eat a meal at all. So this is what we are reminded to do, to not see even someone reaching out to you or asking you, or not even asking you and you doing it as a burden, but just something to be grateful to God for.
I'm so glad I asked you this question, and I mean, your thoughts on these are quite profound. I'd like to appreciate you for that. Guys, in rounding off our conversation, I would like to do you a solid, because you have done us a solid. You may not be in Nigeria, but of course I know you have extended family that you're keeping in spirit. I mean, they may not be there with you physically, but they are there with you in spirit. So I would like to ask, and I would like to start with the kids. Perhaps I start with Evim and go to Susu. I would like to give them an opportunity to send their Christmas wishes and greetings. So maybe their grandparents back home in Nigeria, or friends and cousins back home here. So Susu, let's start with you. Susu, Christmas wishes to anyone back home?
I want to give a shout out to my grandparents, my older sister, our dog in Nigeria, and the rest of the people.
What's your dog name? What's the name of your dog?
Our dog's name is Ace.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, please continue.
I also want to give a shout out to all my aunties and to Gufan. And I want to thank her for helping organize this.
Nice. Even?
I want to give out a shout out to my grandparents, my dog, my friends, and my aunties, and especially Auntie Gufan.
Okay.
For helping us to be in this event.
Okay, great. All right, guys, I'm pretty sure your grandparents are watching, and I'm pretty sure they love you. And they, I mean, wherever they are right now, they're acknowledging your love, and they're sending their shout outs back at you. So, Alu and Tevi, now it's your turn, and we'll do this real quick. Let's see if we can achieve this in 30 seconds. That's 15 seconds. I mean, 15 seconds for each. So, ladies first. Ladies first. No. Tevi, ladies first now.
It's good that you put a time cap to it. If not, I'll give a shout out to everybody. My dad, my mom, my lovely father-in-law, to all my brother-in-laws, to all my aunties and uncles, to my main friends. I have lots of families that I love so much, the Chimas, the Obenes, and Tonya and her family. I also love my special nieces and nephews, Ada, Tam, Karibi, Brie.
That's more than 15 seconds.
That Javos, there are so many. Thank you.
Thank you for stopping at that point. Tell me real quick, and I'd like for you to do something in addition to that. I'd also like for you to send your Christmas message to Nigeria and Nigerians in addition to your loved ones.
I think when she went first, she mentioned all the names I had planned to mention, but what I can say, I'll first of all thank you for hosting us, and I wish you a happy 2024. I also want to thank everyone, the Shaperas, the big family. I also want to thank the family of my wife. I want to thank also my parents-in-law, my in-laws. I thank them for always being supportive. I also thank, I would say, every well-wisher. I don't need to mention names, but upon hearing they know it all. I thank them for always being there and praying for us. Thank you.
Guys, I mean, I can't say how much I appreciate I appreciate these on behalf of the NTA. By the way, Africa's largest TV network. Forget whatever you hear anywhere else. This is it.
100%.
I'd like to, on behalf of the NTA, thank the entire chaperas. I mean, Tevi, Alu, Susu, and even this is wishing you the best of the season, the very, very best of the season. And as you approach the new year, I mean, this is wishing you a fantastic and glorious 2024. Thank you so very much for coming on our program, for coming on Insights.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See you guys. Bye.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
And that's it. Elizabeth Omori is up next.
Jesus had to be born for God to make his spirit available to mankind. As at the moment Adam disobeyed God in the Garden of Eden, he also broke the relationship that existed between God and man. But the birth of Christ proves the point to restore that broken relationship. The day Christ was born, called Christmas, is now an annual festival commemorating his birth, observed primarily on December 25 as a religious and cultural celebration, amongst billions of people around the world, of course. It is one of the most important Christian holidays of the year. People believe that on this day, God sent his Son to earth to redeem man from sin and show the right path. What does this festival mean to Christians? How do we leverage his birth? My guest, Reverend Sam Oye, Senior Pastor of the Transforming Church, will speak to us. Reverend Sam, thank you so much for joining us on Insights.
It's such an honor and a privilege to be with you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, could you explain to us the deep significance of the birth of Christ Jesus?
Well, one of the most important reasons why Christ was born primarily was to make up the gap between God and man. As a result of Adam's disobedience, the Bible made us to understand that there became a gulf, a separation between God and man. As a result of that, man became introduced to the government of Satan, who began to rule over man, resulting in all manner of vices that we see today. Man began to get involved in murdering. We began to see corruption on earth, and we began to see people, hating each other, family members killing each other. All of that because of the absence of the governing influence of God in the life of man. So Jesus Christ had to be born in order to reconcile man back to God, so that we can come under the governing influence of God, whereby you and I can begin to relate with each other, relate with God, and become the kind of individuals that God had intended us to be. So primarily, the first reason why Jesus came was to reconcile us back to God and reconcile us back to ourselves.
All right, the conception of Christ is actually different from every other form of conceptions, but what does this signify in the body of Christ, in Christendom?
Well, the first thing to take note of when we think about the conception of Christ, we're talking about a miraculous conception. We're saying that without, so to say, the interplay of a husband, a woman conceived, which was against the norm, the natural sequence, the natural order of life, is that a man should be able to have intercourse with his wife, and as a result of that, she's able to conceive and then bring forth a child. In the case of Jesus, that was not the case. It was very disruptive. Jesus was conceived without the agency of a man. Joseph was not involved. The point we are trying to make with that, or the point God was trying to make with that, is just to let us know, as the angel said to Mary, that with God all things are possible. The summary of his conception is to remind you and I that there is nothing absolutely impossible with our God. That where man is unable to help you, there is a God who can make your help come through. So every time you think about the conception of Jesus, always remember that when nobody is there to help you, if you can turn to the God who made it possible for a woman to conceive without the interplay of a man, I want you to also remember that that same God can come through for you.
For you. All right, Reverend, I understand quite well, because when we talk about religion, it actually, life itself rather,
yes,
life knows no religion, status, background. Now, utilizing his birth as Christians and non-Christians, since life brings us different shades of colors, how do we utilize his birth to make our lives comfortable, to make humanity more friendly around us?
Well, one of the things that everyone who has actually gotten to know about Jesus Christ, one of the things that you can tell across the world is that as they decide to follow his principle, some don't necessarily practice his religion, they don't practice Christianity, but they value his principle, his principles. One of the things we have realized is that wherever the principles of Jesus is practiced or are practiced, we've discovered growth, development, progress in any of such facet. I know it was Mahatma Gandhi who said, he said, I love Christ, but not the Christians. You know, and Mahatma Gandhi subscribed so greatly to the principles of Jesus, which undergirds the non-violent resistance approach that he utilized in every of his political approach when it comes to politics and when it comes to demonstration and the rest of that. So the point I'm making is that every nation that has imbibed the principles of Jesus have seen growth and development, from Rome to Rome down to Europe and America, the founding fathers of America. I was in the house of the fourth president of the United States, James Madison. And in that house, I was right on the table where the Constitution of the United States was written. And I was made to understand that they will be there. This man who wrote the Constitution will take time to read the Bible and pray and ask God to guide them as they wrote the Constitution of the United States. Here's the point. You may not practice the religion. If you imbibe the principles, you will see the progress in your life.
How can we build a lifestyle where Christ will reflect in what we do in our lives, so that people can read us as the Word of God, as the Bible?
Thank you so much. You know, the reason Mahatma Gandhi said he didn't like the Christians he was seeing them was because they were not reflecting the lifestyle of Christ. So he was looking out for people who profess to be Christians and are truly like Christ. So it is therefore incumbent upon all of us who profess to be Christians, because in the first place, the word Christians means like Christ. So it is dangerous to be called a Christian in the office and you are not like Christ. It is dangerous to be called a Christian politician and you are not like Christ. It is dangerous for you to be called a Christian parent and your children don't see Christ in you. As an entrepreneur, it is dangerous for you to call yourself a Christian and in the marketplace you don't exhibit his values, his lifestyle, and his principle. And what are the principles of Christ? Simple. Love God and love man. The principle of Christ is enshrined in those four words. Love. That we love all men, not minding their race, their tribe, their creeds, their colors, their religion, their inclinations. It doesn't even matter what their orientations may be. Our assignment as Christians, little Christ, those who are like Christ, is to so love humanity that people will say we are like Jesus.
They're like Jesus. All right, Reverend Sam, if we are to consider the circumstances surrounding the birth of Christ, there was confusion at a point. Joseph was thrown off balance. There was lack of trust, no hope. But in all of this, there are lessons applicable. How do we leverage these lessons for the sake of humanity?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You know, one of the major lessons to learn around the birth of Christ is the fact that sometimes when God is at work, it is usually outside of the box of human comprehension. And as a result of the inability of humans to comprehend the workings of God, we're likely going to attack it, we're likely going to fight it, we're likely going to misunderstand it. That was exactly what happened to Joseph. I mean, it's incomprehensible to come to a woman you're just about to marry, she's still a virgin, you are yet to be fully married to her, and then she tells you that she's pregnant, and then you are like, I've never slept with you. And she said, no, the Holy Ghost, impregnated me. You see, very controversial. But that was God at work. It's just that that kind of a work is outside the comprehension of human understanding. So here's what I want to say. Sometimes God is at work in the lives of people. God is at work in families. God is at work in nations, like God is at work in Nigeria. It may not be the way we think or want it to be, but the truth of the matter is that God is at work. It is incomprehensible to us, but over time, like Joseph got to understand, like Joseph got to appreciate it later, we will come to appreciate the work of God in our lives. Summary: be very slow to condemn what you don't understand.
The story of Mary and Joseph would actually be fictional at this age and time. But let's take it outside Christmas this time around. 2024 is just less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
Do you have expectations from the church and government? Because Nigerians have gone through a lot over the years.
Yes, I want to say that 2024 is right around the corner. We're just approaching it. And people are coming to the end of 2023 with so much of discouragement. Nigerians have done so marvelously well. We've persevered. Nigerians have, this year, 2023, happens to be one of the most trying years for Nigeria, from the threats of we're going to be splitted apart, we're going to be broken in pieces, the threats of insurgents taking over the country, all this year, to the threats of Nigeria, the election wasn't going to hold. We had all of those kind of situations. To the post-election drama, eventually we came through the Supreme Court, and now we have a government. And then from the beginning of the government, we had a situation with the oil subsidy, well intended by the government. And now we're dealing with some of the challenges surrounding that change in policy. People are hungry and all of that. And the government is doing its best to ensure that, palliatives are given and people's needs are met. The government is pushing. The government is doing its best possible. Here's what I want to say. You will see a lot of changes. Nigerians are creatures of hope. And I think with great communication of the intentions that governments have, I think Nigerians will prove to the nations of the earth that we can come out of this. So from government, I will expect more communication of the government's intention for the betterment of Nigerians.
Because it's Christmas, so let's have your words, your wishes for Nigerians.
Well, I wish all Nigerians on this Christmas, season, I wish all Nigerians, the very best at Christmas. I pray that your needs will be met. I pray that whatever situation you're going through right now, I pray that God will come through for you. I pray that God will intervene. For anyone who is despairing right now, discouraged, despondent, you're feeling like all hope is gone, I want to remind you that you've been through worse moments than this and you have survived it. I want you to know that you will survive this too. This is not your last Christmas. There are many more Christmas you will celebrate in your lifetime, and something tells me that the next Christmas will be better than this if you choose to survive this. So hey, let's hang out together. Let's share together. That's what Nigerians are known for. I grew up in the Nigeria where we go to each other's house to eat.
Of course.
So we dress up during Christmas. I was born in Kaduna. We dress up during Christmas. If there's rice or no rice in our house, we have automatic approach to visiting each other. And it's strategic visitation. We come to your house, and when we come greeting, your rice have to show up.
Yes.
And if there's nothing in your house, we pick your sons too. We go to somebody else's house. Somewhere before the end of the day, we've all been fed. Let's go back to collegial Nigeria. Let's go back to the Nigeria where we care for each other.
Reverend, before I let you go, would you like to sing us a Christmas song?
What? Did I just hear you say I should sing a Christmas song?
Let's hear the bass.
Oh my goodness. You just put me in a big one now.
Spotlights.
Christmas song. What Christmas song comes?
Anyone? Silent
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas
from the bottom of my heart.
Well, I didn't know you could sing better than I do. Well, happy Christmas.
Reverend Sam Oye, I want to thank you so much for your thoughts on Christmas this year. Thank you very much. We do appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it on this episode. Do join us same time next week for more on Insight. But of course, that will be in the new year. My name is Nnamdi Odipo.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori. Happy holidays.